Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the third intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 6, and today we will have enrichment where we're going to review the units of our third semester. This will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. So the unit that we are about to review for today is Unit 3, which calls All Kinds of People, starting from page 22 until page 31. So in today's lesson, we're going to review this unit, and also we're going to highlight some of the important objectives of the different lessons we have learned in this unit. So starting with the first page of this unit, where we have this exercise where we can have a look at different people who are doing different things in different situations. And we had this exercise where I ask you to compare the people and the situations that they are in and compare them with the ones that you have in your country. Not only this, but also the other exercise we did in this one is trying to match the pictures to the descriptions below. So we're having descriptions, and I told you to try to match each description with the picture that you think that these pictures match each of these descriptions. And so I have photos or different pictures of people similar to this, as you can see it on your books, and I ask you to just try to choose the description, the appropriate description on each of these pictures. We have like 8 pictures, and each one of them has its own description, and I asked you to try to match each one of them. So the description were similar to this. The first one, which is the first picture, when we say the people who live in the city are always in a hurry. And also the other description we have, which when we say that the man who was dressed in black was handing out flyers, and the watches the man trying to sell were fakes, and also the pedal cab that was at the side of the road is an attraction of the town. Here also we have learned some of the important vocabularies, new vocabularies like the one pedal cab, and like attraction and flyers. So these were important words. And also the man who is giving a direction to the tourist was a guide. And also this is a new word we have learned, which is a tourist guide, who usually guide the tourists to their destinations. And also the thief who was trying to steal the police when he saw him, and the man who was talking his cell phone while waiting in the bus, and also the man who's hailing a taxi. He has to go to a business meeting. So these were the descriptions, and we did match each of these descriptions with the appropriate picture. Not only this, but we also we had another exercise, a comprehension exercise, where we match the 2 parts of each of the sentences. For example, the first one, the people who live in the city, we match it with its other part, which is seem to have little time. So this is why we said in the previous description, when we say that the people were in a hurry, here we have similar meaning to the word in a hurry, which is have little time. Also, for example, number 2, the man who was talking on the phone while he was waiting for the bus, and number 3 goes with A and B and C. So these were another exercise that we did in that lesson. And also, as a pair work, here I ask you a couple of questions to use this question and to practice this question with your partner or with friends of yours or people you may know. Questions like, what was the man doing while he was waiting for the bus? And who is that man? The idea behind that question is for you to have a deep look at these pictures, and you try to talk about each of these pictures. And also after this, we went to the grammar where we learned the relative pronouns who, that, and which, and we said that these relative clauses, its job is to add information about a noun or in the main clause. Okay, so for example, he wants the wooden table. He wants the wooden table. So the information that we would like to add here is on the word table. So here we need to use a word that could match the noun and the extra information that we are about to use. So here we would say, which my grandmother gave me. So this was the job or the function of these relative clauses. And we have divided these relative clauses. We said that the relative pronoun, for example, who or that, this is we use it only for people. For example, the man was talking to the tourist. He was friendly. And if we want to combine these two sentences in one sentence, we need to use the relative pronoun. And in this case, and since we're talking about people, the relative pronoun is who. We would say, the man who or that was talking to the tourists was friendly. So this is the relative pronoun we have learned that we use only for people. The other relative pronoun we use, which is that or which, and we use it for things and animals only. For example, we would say, if we have two sentences like this, the horse pulled the carriage and it was black, then we will combine it. We would say, the horse that or which pulled the carriage was black. So this is a relative pronoun that we have gathered two things, which is the noun and the extra information. And also we learned about the past progressive with when and while, and we said that we use the past progressive to talk about events that were happening when another event happened. So when we have the two events happened at the same time, in this case we use when and while, and we have learned the difference between them. For example, the first one, I was looking in the store window when the thief grabbed my bag. I was looking in the store window when the thief grabbed my bag. And we said that we use when there were two events happened, when there is two events happened in the past. And we use while to talk about actions that were happening at the same time. So the previous one, two actions. The first one is continuing to happen and then a sudden event happened. But with while, two actions are still happening at the same time. In this case, we use while. For example, when we say, he was driving while he was talking on his cell phone. He was driving while he was on his cell phone. So this is the difference. These were the difference between using when and using while. So also, how can we form a sentence in past progressive? So as you can see here, we use the subject pronoun that are specific for was, like I, he, she, it. We use them with was. And we, they, and you, we use them with were. And then we write a verb that ends with ing. So this is how can we use or how can we form a sentence in the past progressive tense. And also, after the grammar, we went to the part of the language in context. And we talked about to give a definition of an adjective from the words that we can see in the box to describe a person. And we have these adjectives. As you can see, we have learned their meaning, so we use them to describe people around us with these adjectives. Adjectives like absent-minded, athletic, clever, friendly, funny, generous, hardworking, honest, kind, lazy, optimistic, patient, persuasive, pessimistic, polite, quiet, reliable, rude, selfish, serious, talkative. So all of these personal adjectives, we have learned them, and also I ask you to try to describe people using these adjectives. So for example, what do you call, or what is the adjectives that you would call or you would use to describe someone who makes you laugh? The adjective is funny. So and so on. We can use different questions or similar question to this with different adjectives. After this, we have listened to, we had a listening exercise where we need to look at the picture of a gallery opening, and we need to decide, we need to know which one said that. So we have different phrases like this one, and we need to choose the person who said each of these phrases. So as we can see on the picture, we can see people who are interacting with each other, and each one of them is saying something. So what we need to do is, while we listen, we're going to decide that this person said this and that person said that. And also with the pronunciation, we learn how to stress the adjectives like talkative, athletic, efficient, pessimistic, generous, persuasive, reliable, absent-minded. So all of these adjectives has a stress and has some part or some syllables that needs to be stressed. So we have learned this as well. And also we have a conversation lesson where we started this lesson with about you question, where I ask you different questions like have you ever bought anything on the street, or if you can describe yourself, what kind of person you are, and also have you ever been to an art gallery and describe what was it like. So after this we went to a conversation between Lars and Ken, who each one of them talking about their old friend, a friend that they haven't seen in a while, and we have learned a couple of phrases like real treat and of course, and also I mean. When can we say I mean? When we're trying to introduce a new word, and so on. So we have listened to that conversation, and also we have learned different terms like turtleneck, sweater, and also the reporter. And also, after this, we went to read an inspiring reading text, which is about two remarkable individuals. And that title was called Simple Ideas, Big Result. And it's all about Muhammad Yunus, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and also Muhammad Abdul Latif Jamil, a businessman and a philanthropist. So we read about them, we read about their work, and we read about their contributions to the poor and also to charity and so on. So we started with Muhammad Yunus when we picked a couple of information about him, how he was called the world's banker of the poor, and also when he won the Nobel Prize and used the prize to find another ways to help poor people, and also how he founded the Grameen Bank and the experimental project that he did with his student, and he lent money to poor people. Further, the bank who has that reached 6.61 million borrowers in Bangladesh, and also developed countries like the United States, they adopted the same idea. And also, when we read about Muhammad Yunus, we went straight to read about Muhammad Abdul Latif Jamil, who received many awards for charity work and helped in solving a poverty crisis, and he was named the Saudi Volunteer of the Year, received the award for establishing the job creation programs, and he studied at MIT and made a big donation to an organization called JPAL. Also, their mission of the JPAL is about a group of researchers who their mission is to reduce poverty and establish the Abdul Latif Jamil Community Initiative Program, and the project which is Bab Rizq Jamil, to create job opportunities. After this, we had a discussion about the text, which is who do you think offers more to the society? Is it Muhammad Yunus or Muhammad Abdul Latif Jamil? And as a project, we have an interesting research topic, which is research about who has made a difference in your country or to the world, and you can present your finding to the class. So when we read about those inspiring people, our research was to look for more people who did inspire or who did made a huge difference either for your own country or even in the world. And also after this, we had to read the text in writing. We went to writing to read the text about the South Division 2030, where we went to underline and make notes about the key changes and the key events in the chart. And we have chart similar to this, where we have 4 parts. The first one, which is about families, the change, the key features or the key events that help or to influence the family, and to also culture and entertainment and economy and also government. So we have this text where we read this text, and while we're reading, we'll try to pick points to use them in the chart below. So this text was talking about the vision in general, and then it went to specific to talk about each of these parts. For example, families who will receive necessary support to raise their children and also to develop their abilities and character. With the other part, culture and entertainment, the vision will help to launch or to create libraries, galleries, and museums, and also provide different types of event and activities. And in regard of economy, the vision will offer equal opportunities for all citizens through a high-quality educational system that meets the needs of the job market. So finally, with government service, of course, will be effective, will be transparent, and it will facilitate the growth and development of private and also non-profit sectors. So we have read about the role and the importance of the South Division 2030 and how it will affect all of these parts in terms of family and for entertainment, for economy, and also for the government side. So when we finish reading, we went to write down each of the key changes and key features in this chart. So also the last part of our unit, which is about form, meaning, and function, where we learned the how can we use can, may, and could in making a permission or making a request. And we said that we use those modal verbs can and may and could to ask for permission, permission. For example, when you say, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Or if we said, may I speak to the manager? May I speak to the manager? Or finally, could I make a reservation? Could I make a reservation? So we have learned that when using these modal verbs to try to make a polite request. And even we have specified some of these modal verbs. We said that if we use may or could, it is more polite. It is more formal when we use these two modal verbs. So it's very important that we know when we are making requests what are the proper modal verbs that we use. And also here we had a conversation that we need to continue it, and we continue that conversation with using these modal verbs. So we have, and some of these modal verbs, of course, or some of the answers, it was okay to use more than a modal verb. So, for example, the first one, may I please speak to the manager, or could I speak to the manager, or can I speak to the manager? They are all the same. But the important thing here is that we know that could and may are more formal and more polite. So we did this. We answered the conversation. Again, with this one, with the other exercise, with different situation, when we order a taxi or if you want to book a reservation. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching.